Hello, ladies and gentle cars, and welcome. Yay! We're eventually going to figure out soundboard properly on here. But anyways, we're at episode 151. Welcome to episode 151. Too bad Ricky's not here to say it in Spanish, so...
151 in Spanish.
Uno cinco uno.
There you go.
There we go.
Wow.
We'll do that. 151. There you go. It fits. But anyways, so tonight, last month, around this part of May, we did the top 10 best gimmick matches in wrestling history. And we can't do a best of without the other side of the coin, the worst of the worst.
And there have been way more bad gimmick matches than good.
We are talking the top 10 worst gimmick matches in wrestling history. Yeah, over the years, we've seen a lot of bad ones. So to narrow this list down to 10 was pretty difficult. But...
some more than others.
Yeah. And actually, just to go ahead and get into it... most of us do not have honorable mentions. We only have one guy with honorable mentions, and it's the baby. The new stowaway.
The ginger.
The new stowaway who decided to crawl into the cart, and the cart goes into the plane, and now he's stuck in a plane going, Mama, no! Anyways, boss.
Thing right from hell? Nah, I'm good. Okay, yeah, so none of these guys have honorable mentions, but I do. So let's just kick off with the first honorable mention I have. Any tuxedo match.
Yep.
These matches don't really benefit anyone except for like getting the chicken shit heel manager like
humiliated, just humiliating them.
But with the bra and panties matches, that's just a bunch of us horny men seeing women without maintaining their clothes.
And that's why I didn't even have that on my list.
I didn't either, yeah.
I didn't either.
Mm-hmm.
With grown men getting down in their underwear, that really doesn't pop a rating. Because at least
We don't want to see Harvey Whippleman versus Howard Finkel.
No.
No. I love the Fink, but I never want to see him in his underwear to quote Jim Cornette.
And they did Fink multiple times in those matches.
I remember seeing Hillbilly Jim against Mr. Fuji in a tuxedo match from MSG at a house show in MSG.
Didn't Lillian Garcia and the Fink have one?
Yeah, it was a tuxedo evening gown match.
Yeah. It's with the bra and panties matches, they pop a rating, and in some cases they pop a titty every once in a while.
Yes.
And you want an obscure... Yeah, you want an obscure example? There was a match that happened in 2008 in TNA, no less, between Jay Lethal and Sanjay Dutt, and, wait for it, in a tuxedo and chain match.
I forgot about that.
The black tie ball and chain, or whatever the fuck it was called.
No, it was probably something like that, but yeah, tuxedo matches, nah, not my cup of vodka. Next up, I'm shocked that I have this on my honorable mentions. The King of the Road match.
I'll be talking about that.
95. It's not the worst gimmick match of 95. I'll get to that later, but you have a situation where you have the Blacktop Bully, one of the more well-known versions of Barry Darsow, taking on Dustin Rhodes, and the point of this match is so fucking stupid. They have to go, they are on this 18-wheeler, and they have to climb over these bales of hay and all this stuff to ring a bell. Mind you, the 18-wheeler is going 40 miles per hour on a road with a bunch of curves and all that shit, and this is a point where if you blade, you get punished. Lo and behold, both men blade, and I think they both got fined or suspended for it.
They both got fired.
Yeah, they both were fired.
They got fired, and Mike Graham got fired as well, because he was the one in control of the match.
Yeah, it was stupid. It's one of the low points of both men's careers. Next up, I have the Ready to Rumble cage match. Slamboree 2000. Yeah, I really wanted to include this with another match, but but it's a different. The never-ending feud between Jeff Jarrett and DDP with David Arquette, who was the world champion. 2000.
Now, the concept of the Ready to Rumble cage is not the worst idea in the world.
No.
Sometimes there have been some bad gimmicks. Let's just preference. There are some bad gimmicks that on paper sound like they could be really good or very interesting. And then the execution is really shit. Just like this. The idea of a 3-tier cage with the belt at the top, not a bad idea. But execution.
When in theory comes execution, and the execution was shit, and David Arquette being world champion, publicity stunt gone horribly wrong. It was not his fault. They did it with Vince. Why not do it with Arquette? At least.
And then they did it with Vince again.
Putting the belts on celebrities rarely ever works.
Moving on.
Yeah, move on, boss.
Moving on. Let's speed it up.
Okay.
Chop, chop.
Yep.
Next up, I have the Human Torch / Graveyard match.
I almost put those on there too, but I didn't bother.
They were desperately doing anything with the Vampiro. Well, they were trying to give him the Undertaker-like thing, where just give him another gimmick match to fit his character, and it did not work. The Human Torch match, set your opponent on fire and you'll win, and a fake Sting did a dive off a scaffold. And that's how the match ended. And with the Graveyard match, it was between the Kiss Demon, yeah, that was a thing that happened, and Vampiro. And whoever decided to do the Lightning probably inspired the Brother Strauss to do whatever the fuck that Alien vs. Predator Requiem movie was.
This is how the match looked.
Yeah.
Basically.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah, there was no lighting whatsoever. It was absolutely atrocious.
Moving on.
And then my final for WCW is the Junkyard Battle Royal.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
That to me is just harmless. It was a bad match, but it's a harmless gimmick.
Yeah, but the stipulation is that, was this Bash at the Beach 99?
Yeah, Bash at the Beach 99. The last match Sandman had in the company.
They were trying to start up the hardcore division, and they had this Junkyard Invitational. It was a bad match, just... It's a regular old street fight with a bunch of people that you just escape a junkyard.
Yeah, and a bomb goes off for 15 minutes, and if you don't escape, you basically die. And it was
yeah.
Alright, now going into my little TNA portion. Speaking of Battle Royals...
How many honorable mentions do you have, dude?
I have at least 5 more, trust
Speed it up, then!
Alright, just...
Okay,
read them off.
because you're having a top 10 within your top 10.
Yeah, pretty much. Chop, chop, buddy. Chop, chop, damn it.
God.
Hurry up!
Okay, next up is the Reverse Battle Royal. Not much more needs to be said. Next up, Last Rites. Fuck that match. Next one. Oh, I don't know if you guys have this match, but the Luck of the Irish match. It was a TNA gimmick. It was between Pat Kenny and Vito, and everything was in these lockers, and it was all Irish gimmick weapons.
I never heard of that one.
I don't even remember that one. Yeah.
It was in the early stages of TNA.
That makes sense.
They fought over a rugby ball with the key. It was stupid. I know what he's talking about.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then a couple more. The Stairs match. Yeah,
I forgot about
that
that
was a good idea. Yeah, you thought a chairs match was bad? We'll have a stairs match. That will draw ratings. And then, I don't know if this was an actual match, but I do know the gimmick was actually involved. The dog poo match.
That wasn't a match. That wasn't a match.
Okay, I thought it was. Okay, never mind then.
Yeah, it wasn't actual gimmick for the match, yeah. So.
Okay. I don't know if you guys will agree with me or not, but a hog pen match.
That's on my list.
Okay. Right, not much more needs to be said. And finally, any pole match, because fuck that. Two big examples. Judy Bagwell on the forklift and the San Francisco 49ers match. Can you stop yelling at me, please?
Well, you had 10 honorable mentions.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
You cut it to like 2 or 3.
Five tops.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry that I don't think like that. Okay, I'm still learning. Okay.
Am I going mad, or did the word "think" escape your lips? What movie? What movie? Anybody else know the movie? Put it in the comments.
The one that
Put it in
you
the chat.
started?
At least
Anyway.
now boss knows how I feel sometimes whenever I get yelled at by people. Anyways, so now into the actual top 10. I'll quickly read off Ricky's top number 10. It was the Doomsday Cage. Before my number 10, now actually, I don't really have my list in any particular order, so I'm just going to go from the bottom up to the top. Because really, these all could be number 1, if I'm going to be honest. But starting with my 10th entry, the Punjabi prison match.
Mm-hmm.
After all, we only had 3 of them. There should not have been a third one, but the first one, and we didn't even get the match, and we didn't even get the matches advertised. You know, Great American Bash 06, Great Khali, Undertaker. Yeah, Khali had to be pulled from the show to elevated. Why do I want to say elevator? Elevated liver enzymes. Shut up! You're gonna fuck me up here. Anyways, so elevated liver enzymes.
Wheels and escalators.
And now I want to play that on tabletop. That actually exists, believe it or not.
I didn't know that. Really? Sweet.
Yeah. We'll have to do that for a game night at some point. But anyways, but yeah, so Khali had to be pulled. We get Big Show out of the blue. And then you get the second one with Khali and Batista, which actually wasn't half bad. And then
it was a decent match.
And then Jinder Mahal, Randy Orton had one of the worst modern
the greatest one of all time. With the greatest WWE champion ever.
Of all time, yeah.
Oh
Drew
God,
more than Eddie Guerrero did, I'll tell you that much.
Oh, Ricky's fuming.
Heat.
He's probably chucking shit off the shelf just to get that.
He's probably one that delivered the chocolate to everybody.
I've been hit with worse. It's okay.
But the concept of a bamboo cage where you have to escape both, not the worst idea in planet Earth. That idea goes to fucking Vince Russo. But,
Bro.
like we were talking about before we got started, the execution, subpar at best.
I'm for it.
But yeah, subpar at best when it came to this match. So yeah, Punjabi Prison, my first entry. James.
My number 10 might be a controversial one, but World War III.
I thought about that one too.
You want to talk about a convoluted mess from a production standpoint. Let's have a 3-ring, 60-man battle royal where nobody, you can't watch it properly because you need one eye going one way, one eye going one way, and another eye going another way.
It's like the Shawn Michaels effect.
And then you start with 60. Once you get to 20, they all go to one ring, and then from there, it's like WCW wanted to do their Royal Rumble, and it just never worked. Can anybody name a good World War III match?
The giant one.
Nope.
No, I mean, when Nash eliminated everybody, that was probably it.
The adage that if 1 is good, 2 must be better, and 3 must be incredible, that kind of thing, the more you add, the better it must get. It's not always the case, especially with pro wrestling.
And 2011 Royal Rumble. Being at ringside for one of those events. So you could only see one ring.
Yeah. How do you figure this out?
Yeah.
How do you shoot this shit?
Anyways,
one of the best things Russo ever did was cancel World War III.
Yeah.
So we can give him that. He got rid of the crappy gimmick match.
Blind squirrel finding a nut. Yeah.
All right, boss. And be fast.
I will. Number 10 is one of 2 TNA gimmicks I have on my list. The Doomsday Chamber of Blood.
I forgot about that one, too.
I don't even remember this one. Tell me.
Okay, so here's the caveat. The name sounds cool. I'll give him that. The name sounds cool. Stipulation that you have to win when your opponent is bleeding. Okay.
It was Sting, Abyss, and Test.
Wait. Let me. Slow your roll.
At least let me admit who was in the match first. Sting, Abyss, and Test versus Christian, AJ, and Tomko. That's who was in it. Hard Justice 07.
Yes, that was the first one. Then they had another one 2 years later at Lockdown between Abyss and Matt Morgan.
Which wasn't half bad.
Yeah. But the whole thing is your opponent has to bleed in order for you to get a pin or submission.
Yeah.
And it made everyone look stupid. Like there's barbed wire at the top of the cage that they're basically using that they did in Lethal Lockdown. And they're like cutting themselves with glass and barbed wire attacks, and it made everyone look stupid. It was just a hardcore death match, mud show, outlaw show, whatever the fuck Jim Cornette uses nowadays. Or outlaw wrestling show, that's what it was. It was stupid. It was just stupid and made everyone look inept. So yeah, that's my number 10.
Scott?
Good points on using the word inept. I did like that. So, my number 10, Boss alluded to it in his honorable mentions, pole matches. Specifically, any pole match in WCW history. Yes, he referred to Judy Bagwell on a forklift, on a pole. The 49ers match. Yes, coal miner's glove, it still counts as a pole match because the object is on a pole. And you say that, what do you think of?
Yes.
Jake and Sting, Halloween Havoc. So, I mean, and wasn't Tank fucking Abbott in a pole match?
It was a knife on a pole match where he pulled the knife on his opponent.
It was a leather.
Leather jacket.
Leather jacket on a pole.
Yeah, and then he pulled a knife on his opponent.
I did a gimmick. That's my gimmick.
It was Tank Abbott and I think Big Vito.
No, it was Al Green.
Yeah. Was it something that? Yeah. Right. It's just the fact that he had a match like that. So just pole matches are a days gone by type scenario. They worked in the territory days. They made sense there. And I have a quick story to tell you about a pole match in Florida. Now, anybody out there who may have had the chance to see it, latest episode of Dark Side of the Ring, from what Boss told us about earlier, is about the Grahams, Eddie Graham and his son Mike. So the story goes that in the Florida territory, I've talked very eloquently about a man I'm a big fan of, Eric Embry, who was a journeyman wrestler in the territory days. And he was in Florida around late 70s, early 80s. And Mike Graham was there, and Mike Graham didn't have the best reputation because he was the boss's son, and he was a snarky prick. And he knew it, and he could throw his weight around. Well, Eric Embry didn't like snarky pricks, especially when you're a snarky prick to him. So Mike and Eric didn't get along. And a lot of people didn't like Mike, but he was the boss's son. What are you going to do? But many people knew about the heat they had. Go ahead. So, in the same territory this time is Jack Briscoe. And on this one show, they're going to have a battle royal with a pole. And at the top of the pole is a contract to face the world champion. And it was slated that Mike Graham was going to win the contract. So Jack Briscoe goes up to Eric Embry in the locker room before the show and says, "Hey, Graham's winning the battle royal tonight." And Embry's like, "Yeah, I know. I was told. I'm in the match." Briscoe looks at Embry and goes, "Be a shame if Mike couldn't get up that pole."
Oh, boy.
Eric looked at Jack. Jack looked at Eric. Eric said, "Message received." Eric went in his bag, got some baby oil, put it in a pouch, stuck it in his tights. Out to the ring they go for the match. Everyone's fighting. Eric makes a play for the pole. You have to climb up the turnbuckle to get to the pole, climb up. And it's a high fucking pole, too, to get this contract. Eric climbs up there, takes the baby oil out, sticks the bag in his mouth. As he climbs up the pole, baby oil all down the front of his body, to where somebody starts pulling Eric down from the pole, and his body slides down the pole with all the baby oil on it now.
Oh, my God.
Everybody knows this is going to happen, so they all let it go. They don't do anything. Now it's Mike Graham's turn to be the triumphant winner and go up that pole and grab the contract. So Mike Graham climbs up the turnbuckles, gets on the pole, and tries. and tries to get up the pole, and he can't do it. He's jumping. He can't get up there. It's so slippery. He can't do nothing. It would have been funny if this went a minute, 2 minutes, 40 minutes later.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
The audience is pretty much gone. It's become so embarrassing that they've pretty much just left. They even tried having a wrestler climb up the turnbuckles, stand on the top rope holding the pole, and Mike was going to climb up the turnbuckles and climb up the wrestler's back to try to get on top of him to get to the... It still didn't work.
Oh my lord.
It still did not fucking work. And fucking Embry is losing it. Try not to sell it, but he's losing it. Briscoe's losing it. Everyone's laughing their ass off. Finally, they get like a rope. They put it around the pole, and they pull the pole down so it'll bend just far enough for Mike Graham to snatch the fucking contract. In the locker room after the match, and there's Mike Graham sitting there, dejected, embarrassed. So when you're in territory with Eric Embry, don't fuck with him. That's why I wanted to share it. But pole matches suck. Pole matches suck. So.
That's one of the best ribs I've ever heard. That's like
that is legendary.
It's up there with like Owen Hart ribs.
It's up there. Yep. That's old school, man. I love it.
All right.
Number 9.
Ricky's number 9 was the 49ers match in particular.
Now, if he had 49ers and pole matches, then it's like...
yeah, he had them separate. So...
Then you can change it to something.
Yeah.
The only thing that would have redeemed that match is if Jerry Rice, Joe Montana, or Steve Young would have appeared on that match. But no,
but my next entry on my list, the Steel Asylum. We're getting into some TNA stuff here. Now, this match, again, this is similar to the Punjabi prison. On paper, it seems like a good idea. This was largely an X Division concept here, because it was pretty much all X Division guys.
And it had 2 different names. It was also the
Terror Dome, and then it became Steel Asylum.
But it was the same thing.
The same structure, same color scheme, everything. It's just the matches were clunky and confusing, and on top of that, when the bars are so fucking thick and they're red, it makes it hard to see what the fuck's going on. The reason why the red Hell in a Cell worked is because mesh chain link. It's thin, so you can still see inside. Whereas this
was the McDonald's Playland.
Pretty much. And the only way to win was to escape by climbing up under the roof, through the hole, and stand on top.
Poor fucking homicide.
Yeah. That's the most infamous example, is first Monday Night Impact, January 4th, 2010.
First match. The first thing that potentially new fans see is Homicide not being able to get into the hole.
That is also sexual. And Jeff Hardy standing on top.
Yeah. By the way, this was supposed to go head-to-head with Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, if you can believe that. But yeah, that's my second entry. James?
My number 9 is an Asylum match, but a different Asylum match. The Steiner Asylum from WCW, where the fucking bird-cage. And Steiner had his own match in 2000 where it was a tiny little bird cage coming down to the ring, and the only way to win is by submission. They thought they were creating this UFC cage and this MMA style thing, but it's like, no, it's fucking Tweety Bird's cage coming down, and Steiner's having this fight with his brother and Tank Abbott and Shane Douglas.
I don't even remember this.
They had a match where it was a leather jacket on a Pulse Steiner Asylum match.
It's freaking horrible. The Steiner... The idea of Steiner having his own match isn't a bad idea, but then you get a freaking bird cage.
Yeah.
It's bad.
It's bad. Movie Birdemic is better.
I'm a sweet little bird in a gilded cage. Tweety's my name and I don't know my age.
Tremendous. Flupper and fuckattack. Squab.
I thought I saw a putty tat. I did saw a putty tat.
You little rodent. I understand you need a babysitter.
Boss, you're number 9.
Number 9.
Put her in a bag. Alright, my number 9, I'm gonna be shocked if you guys do not have this on your list, if not higher. The Chamber of Horrors match.
I got it.
Oh, Jim heard. You can go fuck off. That's
Jim heard enough.
Last second honorable mention.
Yeah.
Damn it.
I have worse ones.
Yeah.
Okay, the only thing that's not like top 5, it's because of the talent involved. You have the Steiners, Sting, Cactus Jack, the Great Muta. You have really damn good people. And then you have Elegante and Abdul the Butcher. One of these things is not like the
And
other.
Muta wasn't in that match. Vader was.
Vader, that's right. I don't know why I thought.
How do you confuse Great Muta and Vader?
Because I was thinking of the Thunderdome cage match where there was a fire going off and Muta used.
Oh yeah, 89. Yeah,
89 Halloween Havoc.
Yeah, I got that mixed up. You had talent. You had talent. This whole torture vice from the fucking McDonald's playground.
It's stiff. It's limp. It's stiff. It's limp. It's stiff. It's limp. It's not active yet, folks. It's stiff. It's limp.
Freaking Cactus had to climb up to put it up.
Mm-hmm.
And hold it up.
In the end, Abdul the Butcher gets shocked. Like, what the fuck? Moving on before I lose my shit more.
Didn't help that it opened the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, this is one of the most notorious matches. Not even WCW, but in wrestling history.
Yeah. Scott?
My number 9. King of the Road. Let's go, if you will, to the booking committee meeting where they decided upon this match. All right, guys, we got a show coming up. Uncensored 95, Dustin, Blacktop Bully. What are we doing? Hey, guys. Hey, what's up? Shit, he's here. Hey, what's going on? You talking about Blacktop Bully and Dustin yet? Yeah, we're talking about the match. I got an idea. God, get this motherfucker off this goddamn committee. Sure, what's your idea? Truck. Truck. What about it? They'll wrestle on a truck. On a truck. Yeah. It'll be great. How are they going to wrestle on a truck? It'll be great. They know what to do. They're wrestlers. They know what they're doing. But a truck is so small. Make it a flatbed. Big, long truck. It'll be great. Well, how are you going to get that in the ring? What? How are you going to get the truck in the ring? What do you mean? You're going to put the truck in the ring, aren't you? No. It's going to be driving on the road. They're going to wrestle on the truck when it's driving on the road. They're going to fall off the truck when it's moving. Put a cage on it. Put a cage on a fucking truck. I can't believe this guy. If you put a cage on a flatbed truck, dude, they're going to wrestle it. They're going to get hurt. No, they're not going to get hurt. I have a plan. What's your plan? Hey. We're going to put hay bales in there. It's going to be great. All right, so we're going to have a flatbed truck moving, 2 wrestlers on it, in a cage with hay. Yeah. How are we going to shoot this thing? Oh, they're going to have a cameraman on the truck. There's plenty of room, right? We can put a cameraman on there. Then there's the one kiss ass in the room who says, we can probably get some other trucks with cameras to follow it behind and film it. Motherfucker, he had to fucking come here too.
Levi!
What the fuck is going on? Hey, you know what? This is Turnerland. We can use a helicopter too to film it. Now we got helicopters, we got other trucks. How the fuck are we gonna film this thing? Should I shut him off now? No. This is what we need to get rid of him. So we need to get rid of him. Just let him fucking go. Just let him fucking go. All right. You want this match? Yeah. Well, what are you gonna call it? I'm glad you asked me that. I was listening to Roger Miller on the way over here, and it was a perfect song to call this match King of the Road. King of the Road, make it happen. You can go now. Thanks, guys. I gotta go. It's got a great time. Thanks a lot. King of the Road. Hey. Thank you.
Oh my God, my face hurts.
Did I dare say that my explanation of how that match came to be was more entertaining than the match itself?
Oh God.
Flip that, somebody.
Oh God.
There's a lot of clipping on that one.
Oh Jesus Christ.
I've been practicing that for a couple of days.
I felt like I was about to fail. I felt like I was about to fail a try not to laugh challenge right there. Jesus Christ.
Oh, you failed completely. You're not hiding nothing by doing this.
Oh God.
Anyway.
Woo. Okay.
Number 8.
Back to the list. At number 8, Ricky had the Reverse Battle Royal. My next entry, another TNA match, the Lockbox Challenge.
Oh,
Hey, bro. I got a great idea for this episode of Impact on Monday nights, bro. What if we take a bunch of the knockouts and we put them in a Lockbox Challenge? Where in each of the corners, we're going to have different things in a lockbox. A strip tease, bro. Oh, that'll get the ratings up. The Knockouts Championship. Open contract. And Tara's fucking whatever the hell rat or spider. Who cares? Bleh, poison. Bleh. And there's a chance that the Knockouts champion could lose the title if they pick the wrong box. Or the wrong key to the box. Vince Russo, you wonder why I want to fucking beat the shit out of you?
Why'd you turn British? Mate, look what we got here.
He's not the man for accents. It's okay. I like the dedication. I like the dedication to it. He was committed.
Even I was wondering why I started to turn British. But yeah, long story short, you had what the fuck? I'm trying to remember who all. You had Tara, the Beautiful People, Sonata, and a couple of others. Daphne. Daphne was in there too. Each had to get a key to open a lockbox. Yeah, open contract, strip tease, the Knockouts title, and the fucking tarantula. Tara, I'll just say this to describe the badge. Tara, who was the champion going in, gets the lockbox. She gets her damn tarantula back, but then realizes, oh shit, I just lost the Knockouts title. Dear Lord. Yeah. And to Vince Russo trying to defend himself, saying that the wrestling is not as important as the character or as the gimmick. That argument might hold some weight, but then you have a match like this that will completely kill that argument. So yeah, Vince Russo, a 1-2, fuck you, James.
My number 8's already been talked about. The Reverse Battle Royal. Like. The stupidity of this whole thing is, why don't people just go in right away? Instead of fighting each other, just enter the ring. Rikishi was the only one who got it, where it's like, he just entered the ring. And then, it's like, you have the Reverse Battle Royal, and then you have a normal Battle Royal to determine the winner.
Actually, James, his name was not Rikishi, it was Junior
Actually...
Shut the fuck up. Anyway.
Boss.
Speaking of horrors, I have the House of Horrors match.
That's a cinematic.
It's cinematic. That don't count.
Not really. Honestly. Sure? But give us your explanation. This is your list. Let's all respect the list true. Now. We're not all going to agree. So, what in your way? Why is it worst? Why is it a worst gimmick?
Because first off, I really wanted to put a cinematic match because honestly, besides the Boneyard and the Firefly Funhouse, they're fucking stupid. They are not good. I really do not like any of them. This one is... This and the swamp fight are probably tied for the worst, because, one, you have a feud between Orton and Wyatt, which on paper does not sound bad.
No.
But Orton is a complete arsonist, and actually is the real antagonist of the entire story. They had a very limp match at Mania, where Bray's one and only WWE long-awaited title run went up in flames, pun unintended. And then they have this match here, where Orton goes to Bray Wyatt's house, and it's this... It looks like a trailer for a terrible B horror movie. That never got
Dilapidated fridge.
Yeah. Like, it will be, Orton goes into a side of the house where it's all this weird spooky shit. And then Orton gets attacked by Bray, he fends off Bray, and Bray runs away. And it repeats that over and over. Then they somehow go back into the arena, they brawl it at ringside, they get into the ring, and it takes Jinder fucking Mahal to hit Orton, and Bray Wyatt wins.
Yeah. Enough said.
Fuck that.
Just basically dilapidated fridge and stupid spooky dolls. There you go. Scott.
My number 8. I'm going to guess you guys some of you probably have this on your list. But if I say to you, James, Halloween Havoc and Cobo Hall, what comes to mind?
Monster trucks. Damn it! Fucking
Damn it!
They're pushing.
Okay. This is okay if you want to do it for free on TV. But
if it was Nitro.
It was Nitro? I thought it was a Halloween Havoc.
No, if it was Nitro, it would have been okay.
That's right, yeah.
But it was pay-per-view, Halloween Havoc 95.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you had to pay to see this. You were paying to see other shit, and then this was wedged in there because they knew it was so bad you wouldn't want to pay for it anyway. So they had to get their money's worth somehow. So let's just put two guys push back and forth. Me angry. Fire bad. Call Lars. And so if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. If you know,
and the giant dies.
And the giant.
Oh, help!
Did he fall on the street side or the water side? Water, what's the difference?
Yeah.
One is solid asphalt, the other's fucking liquid. What the fuck?
Yeah. Fuck that.
Oh, Bischoff, I love you, but why the hell did you say that? Anyways, my where are we? 4th entry, aka number 7, if I had, even though
What about Ricky's number 7?
Oh, yeah. So Ricky's number 7 was actually the same as my 4th entry, the hog pin match. Hunter Hearst, Helmsley, Henry Godwin, yeah.
I didn't even have that on my list. So.
Yeah, I remember this match.
It's inoffensive.
It's inoffensive, but still, well, I mean, I get it, the gimmick of the Godwins, you gotta do something with them. But did you really have to have Hunter Hearst Helmsley in it? Could have been any other mid-card heel.
Now, the one thing I hate about this match is the perception that this was part of Triple H's punishment.
Way before that.
And they always say, it's like, oh, he was in hog pen matches with Henry Godwin after his punishment. It's like, this was before...
December 95.
Before he lost to Warrior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to know what the worst part? The scene, even the worst one. They had one at Extreme Rules 2009 with Vicky Guerrero and Santina Morella.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like Triple H will forever have scars from this match, literally, because his back is still all scarred up from the freaking fence.
But also, don't forget that Davey Boy and Owen took the pigs out of the hog pen and put it in Vince's office.
That's a class. That sounds like a classic Owen.
That's a rip.
Sure.
That's a rip.
And I mean, for that, how can this match be in the top 5 worst?
Exactly.
Well,
it wasn't me. It was Owen.
It was fucking Owen, man.
It's fucking Owen. It fucked him. All right.
And Vince walked backwards onto the pig and he fell flat on his fucking ass. Alright, James.
My number 7 is a match that was done I believe only one time ever. It was down in Global in Dallas. The bungee jump match.
My number
Yep,
2.
that's my
Jesus.
number 7 too.
My number 2.
Oh my! So you have this match. 2 people are fighting, quote, 175 feet in the air, and the object is to push. They're both in harnesses, and the first to push their opponent off the edge, and they go bungee, is the winner. And you're just watching.
Yeah.
And
also, and don't forget the fact that this was my number 2. This was originally my number 10. And then I got to watch it again. I'm like, holy shit, this needs to be higher. So I made it my number 2 because of the fact it was done once and once only. And also, they're on a platform which is like 5x3 enclosed. And it's at night. And it's outdoors at like a freaking fairgrounds with hardly any people watching. One camera shooting it from below.
Yep.
Oh my god.
You're looking at it like this. The match is on YouTube. You can see this, folks.
Yeah, just type in bungee match.
You're going to get it. Steve Dane and Chaz Taylor. Who and huh? That's them.
Not even the smallest, not even the smallest area for a match. I'll be talking about that in a little bit, but I mean, the bungee match, really?
Why do I feel like I've aged 30 years just hearing this match?
I saw this in real time, okay?
Oh, God.
Long story short, the winner actually lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my number.
Yeah,
7.
I lose, but I don't care. Whee!
Yeah,
All right, Scott.
My number 7, talked about already, the TNA Reverse Battle Royal, Bound for Glory 2007. This is indie bullshit, not something that should be on a pay-per-view. I saw this on an indie show, okay?
They did Reverse Battle Royals, I think, like 3 different times or something.
I saw it at an indie show in 1997, okay? My local indie promotion, New Breed Wrestling. The show's on YouTube. Primo Canera versus King Kong Bundy. Bundy does something, breaks the center beam. They can't continue the match. They're going to have a battle royal at the end of the show. They can't do it because all the guys in the ring's going to collapse. So some genius in the locker room says, make it a reverse battle royal. First guy in the ring wins the match. And who wins the match? Iron Mike Sharp. That makes sense because it's indie bullshit. Not something that should be on fucking pay-per-view. Stupid.
It's on YouTube? See, now
the whole show I went to is on YouTube.
Now I gotta look it up.
You gotta look it up. New Breed Wrestling, and I don't remember the name of the show, but you're gonna see it. You're gonna see a whole lineup on the opposite side of the hard cam, a bunch of stupid marks. I'm the guy with the long hair. That's me. Yes, I had it at that time.
All right, number 6. Well, Ricky and I strike once again, having the same match on the same spot. The blindfold match.
I didn't put it on my list. I was thinking about it, but
to be honest, even the one that worked, Jake and Martel, I still am not a fan of that match at all. I'm sorry, but blindfold matches do not belong in pro wrestling. They just don't.
It worked from a storyline perspective. Like, as a storyline perspective, it was good. I actually enjoyed the match, but they just kept doing the same trope over and over. It's like, once you see a one blindfold match...
What? At the end of the day, were the fans into it?
Yes.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
Doesn't matter to me.
With that one, the fans were into it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I said, that's the only one that even worked, and I'm putting quotes around that. Because, yeah, after that, who the fuck cares? And what especially, the match that put this blindfold match stipulation on my list, Harrison Storm and Lockdown 07. Good God!
It was bad.
Which
up to that point, the worst match TNA ever had. Up to that point.
Keep in mind, they also had another stipulation where it was an electrified cage match between
the same night.
In LA, not LA.
We're so yeah.
News of a champion.
But yeah, blindfold match. Just even Roberts Martel never did it for me. So my 5th entry / Ricky's number 6.
You mean 6?
6th entry. It's okay. Hot.
whatever.
All right.
James.
All right. My number 6, the shark cage match. And no, I am not talking about the wrestler being above the ring in a shark cage. I am talking about an actual shark cage where 2 people are wrestling in. This is on YouTube. Another one of those. You can find it on YouTube. One fall with a 60-minute time limit.
Oh, dear Lord.
Is this in Japan? Is this, no, that's a different match. This is a different match I'm thinking of.
It's in... let me...
Those are the territories I want.
Because the one in Japan I'm thinking of was a piranha death match.
Oh, God.
I forgot all about that until you started talking about the shark cage. Like, yes, in Japan, they did, like, for FMW or Wing, one of those hardcore promotions, piranha death match. It happened.
I think it was BGPW. And that was, I think that was also the same stipulation that had an alligator death match, which...
Oh, Jesus Christ.
But, no, the loser got to wrestle a baby alligator. It wasn't like a full-on...
Love that.
Anyways.
No, I think the match that James is talking about, the shark cage match, I knew Chief J Strongbow was in it. I know it was Strongbow. I completely forgot who the other one is. And it took, believe it or not, it took outside interference just for the guy to win.
Yeah, it was stupid and it was dumb. Just the small enclosed area, the door kept opening. It's on YouTube, so find it. It's just...
Wow.
Why?
I
mean,
like...
an honorable mention to the shark cage match where you hang the person above the ring, because, yeah, that's a great way. That always works. Never.
No, but that was more for managers, back in the day. So,
and even then, you could still pass knuckles, or in China's case, bend the bars and escape.
Or in Enzo's case, just gets the baby will slip through the fucking bars and still get kicked by a big ass.
Yep.
Yeah. I swear, this episode is
and then Cass tears his ACL. Moving on.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Boss.
So, number 6.
Number 6, I'm willing to bet you guys might have it a little bit higher. Concrete crypt match.
I didn't even bring it up.
I forgot about that one, too.
Forgot all about that one.
Originally called the Live Free or Die match.
So
it was Undertaker versus the Dudleys at the Great American Bash.
Everyone done?
Yep.
Go, boss. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. So the whole thing is Paul Bearer gets abducted by Paul Heyman, and now that Heyman has the urn, Taker could do whatever the urn tells him to. So the whole thing is...
Giggity.
James? So the whole thing is that if Taker lays down, Dudley's get, they got a pin on the Undertaker even though they did it beforehand. But this whole thing is that Paul Bearer is stuck in the cement box, and if Taker doesn't do what Heyman says, Heyman pulls down the lever, and Paul's getting covered in,
oatmeal.
Yeah.
Or if Jim Ross was commentating, cement.
Cement, yeah.
The match itself
Semen.
is horrible. Great American Bash is one of 04 is one of the worst pay-per-views of all time. And this was all because they were writing off Paul Bearer because he had to get bypass
surgery
again. And the way they did it was so stupid. And they actually did the close-up shots, that was actually pre-recorded. That was before the show went live.
And it was leaked on WWE.com.
Yep.
Yes. And when you actually look at the shots behind Paul Bearer's head, it's a stunt double. And keep in mind, Undertaker kills Paul Bearer, and he is still a babyface in the end.
Yeah.
He had to do what was right.
Then again, they always wrote Paul Bearer off in the most ridiculous ways.
Then they went backstage, and they said, I think we got ribbed, man.
Yeah. Yeah. This is like a bad B movie that we were just have to be stuck in.
And to make it worse, this was the main event of the show.
Yeah. This was the final thing you saw on the show.
Taker!
All Taker had to do was punch out Heyman, punch the glass, and get carefree, but no.
No.
I gotta do what I gotta do. Rest in pieces.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, which is worse, this or getting shoved off like a fucking ladder through like 10 tables by Kanan?
Taped to a wheelchair, or or tied to a wheelchair and then being stuck in a freezer.
He also got thrown down a manhole.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so 4 ridiculous ways they would write Paul Bearer off.
He also got attacked by Giant Gonzalez and Mr. Hughes.
Yes.
Oh yeah, dragged. Remember, by Undertaker, and he got like carpet burns and shit from that.
Ugh.
So here's
the rib
my
drag.
ass getting dragged down the hallway.
Kane! My God, Kane! How much more of this shit do you need? Scott?
Yeah.
My number 6, we've had fun talking about some stuff, but this is a serious one, and I'm serious when I say that. Number 6, empty arena matches. Now, I'm not talking about no. Don't give me that look. All right, you disqualified yourself for not liking the Prince of Darkness match thing. Okay, so no. Listen, but don't look at me like that. All right, I will smack you from here, and I can reach. All right, get that puss off your face. Yeah, I smell it. It smells like nothing.
Beef jerky.
Smells like ranch.
So ranchy. By the way, you ever seen
maple
the movie
syrup?
Commando? You ever seen the movie Commando?
Oh dear Lord! Don't remind me of that movie.
I fucking love that movie. I just watched it on YouTube. Anyway, I thought of you, Levi. I was watching. I'm like, hey, check it out, Gunstore. I'm sure you love that.
Anyway, the empty arena match.
Sorry. Empty arena matches. Now, I'm not talking about what happened during the pandemic. That's a totally different scenario. But empty arena matches are reverse of what the business is all about. And that's selling tickets. So why have a match where there's no audience? It's for TV. What benefit does it do? There's no reaction. There's no energy. There's nothing that the wrestlers can use to influence their performance. The most famous of this, Mankind, The Rock, Halftime Heat. But that was a gimmick. That was for TV ratings. That was not necessarily to be taken seriously because this is the time of the Attitude Era. So we're just looking for anything to get out there. All right, here's a little fun little thing you can all watch while you're having your pizza and your nachos. The most infamous one, Jerry Lawler, Terry Funk from 1981 in Memphis. Now, at the time, it made sense because Funk and Lawler are doing this angle. They're doing this storyline. Natural rivalry, Texas versus Tennessee. And Funk is in Lawler's backyard now. So they were having several matches and doing great business, selling out the Mid-South Coliseum. Well, Funk does the story where he feels that Lawler's getting preferential treatment, favoritism. So I want a match with him with nobody around, nobody in the stands, no referees, no security, just him, me, a camera, and Lance Russell doing commentary. And that's what you get. Well, the match itself is it's just two guys fucking around inside an empty building. My eye! I need a doctor! I need a doctor. He's yellow, jackass, that whole thing there too. So, and I actually saw that. I never heard about this match until I bought this VHS called Man, Men, Maniacs, and Lunatics, which I still have. It was autographed by Jeff Jarrett. And so I was like, wow, this is crazy. But what people don't realize is Terry Funk explained, well, yeah, we were doing good business at Mid-South. We were selling out the building. We did the empty arena match. The next week, business went down. So it did not help. It is infamous now, but it did not do the business it was supposed to do. There's been others of these in the past. Samoa Joe and Christopher Daniels did one in Ring of Honor years ago. Nobody talks about it. I know there's been several others, TNA.
Sting, Kurt Angle, which that still does get talked about because it was intense.
Yeah, and,
Dragon off versus Devlin from a couple,
that's empty arena. That doesn't
Thunderdome-esque era.
Yeah, Thunderdome stuff. I'm not
any
counting.
pandemic era stuff
intentionally sold to be empty arena. So that's why I feel empty arena matches are dumb. They don't do any good business. They don't make it anything more important than it should be. Well, you could just sell fucking tickets, have an audience there, put a fucking cage up. You do the same thing. So empty arena matches number 6. Fuck you.
From a business perspective, I can agree with that.
I just only gave you the look.
You can do that.
I only just gave you that look because I still love the Rock Mankind Empty Arena halftime heat. That's why.
Yeah.
The only thing that was done was the finish. That was like
Yes.
the only thing. Camera shot.
Yeah, it was dumb.
You piece of trash! That's the Rock's belt!
Alright, so Ricky's number 5. The Brawl for All. I can't believe I forgot that one.
It's not a match. I almost had it myself, but it's not technically a match. You know, it's a tournament thing. You know, yeah.
Well, it falls under the auspice of the boxing match.
In wrestling, yeah.
It's a gimmick. It's a gimmick.
Yeah. But anyways, my next entry, the Doomsday cage match from Uncensored 96. What in the flying fuck were they thinking with this?
The concept of a 3-tier cage is interesting.
But in this case, not only the execution, but the fucking visual. Dark. It was by the fucking stage where not everybody could see.
It was the set for the pay-per-view.
God.
Not only that, Hogan and Savage beat 20 guys.
Yeah.
2 people beat like 92 people.
Don't forget Booty Man's running with the frying pans.
And then Luger at the end, he holds the punch and then punches Flair. It's like, oh, it was an accident. I was like, you fucking pulled your punch at first.
And also,
it's like,
the final, the ultimate solution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That too.
Yeah. And it's like the world champion, one half of the tag champs, and the TV champ all have to do the job.
Right. With Z Gangsta. Don't forget Z Gangsta.
Fucking Zeus's return to wrestling.
Oh my god.
Tony
Lister. Rest in peace.
Yeah. Anyways, James.
My number 5's already been mentioned, the Punjabi prison match. There should have never been a second one.
Never been a third one. Somehow the third one was worse.
The concept, the idea, it seems interesting. In the execution, I'm all for it.
And another thing too, you can't tell what the fuck's going on in the ring. Because the bamboo was so damn thick.
All it was it was a cage with just wood around it.
Somehow Undertaker and Big Show was slightly entertaining, but that's not saying.
That's stretching.
And not even that. And Undertaker's been a part of so many bad gimmick matches over the years.
Yeah.
You think about all the great stuff that Mark Calloway has done, and then realize he's had a lot of shit to deal with too.
Such as this.
You can make the argument he's had as much shit as he's had great.
Yeah.
And somehow he's the GOAT of all characters.
Yeah.
He probably has some of the best gimmick matches and some of the worst. This falls on the ladder.
Yep.
Yeah, the Punjabi prison belongs.
That's my number 5 too. So Scott.
Oh, there you go. My number 5. Well, they were fine before 1987, but after that, didn't need them anymore. Scaffold matches.
I was
considering putting it on there, but it's
PN News and Bobby Eaton against Steve Austin and Terry Taylor
in a capture the flag scaffold match
on the scaffold.
Because
-91.
Because who's gonna take the bump in that one? It's definitely not gonna be PN News.
Yeah, there's no reason. There was no feud. There was no storyline. It was just a match on pay-per-view. Great American Bash 91. For
the
reasons.
opener.
For some reason, we're going to have this match. Any scaffold match pretty much after Skywalker's, Midnight Express, Road Warriors is pretty much pointless. They're too dangerous. There's too much margin for error. 87, Starrcade 87, Rock and Roll Midnight. It was good, but they just saw it a year ago. So it wasn't as good as the other one. And plus 86 was when Cornette took the big bump and fucked up his knees forever. So again, dangerous. Cactus Jack had one in world class like 1988, 89, fell and broke his wrist. Still has problems with it to this day. Vic Grimes and New Jack, need I say more?
TNA did the scaffold match with Elevation X,
which I actually liked. But
it falls under the scaffold match, where it's like, what are you gonna expect?
And I'm sorry, but I'm old school ECW as much as anybody else. But the infamous Brian Lee, Tommy Dreamer high incident match,
yeah,
it was a scaffold match with a ring full of tables. There's a reason why you only saw the finish of the match on TV, because the match is bad. It's a bad, fucking boring match. At the time, sure, it was crazy. Never saw it before. It was a spectacle, but didn't age well. So the scaffold match, and there's a reason why it's never been done in WWE, because it's not safe. It's dangerous. There's no psychology. I remember seeing one. It was Ricky Morton and Al Snow in Smoky Mountain, and Al wanted to do a bunch of crazy shit up there. Ricky Morton wouldn't let him do it. He wanted to take like a backdrop on the scaffold. Ricky wouldn't let him do it. He wanted to do a backflip. Ricky said no. So it's dangerous shit, and it doesn't work. It doesn't help. It doesn't help the wrestlers. It's just overall too much margin for error. So scaffold matches are a thing of the past.
I forget which Elevation X it was, but Rhino did a gore, or tried to do the gore.
It was with Styles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And also, they were giving Scott Douglas those matches too in WCW in 2000. It was called the Pittsburgh Plunge match. The most infamous one was him and Tori Wilson against Medusa and Kim.
Dane Douglas, not Scott Douglas.
Oh, why the fuck did I say
that's strike 2.8.
I'm taking fucking L's out the ass here, man. I'm telling you. But no,
because the scaffold match in the early days in Tennessee, when it was like 15 feet, okay. But when it got to be 20, 25 feet high,
30 feet,
we're getting ridiculous here. Stop that shit. So
it was a flash of diminishing returns, basically.
Good in the territory days, like the pole match was, but just completely saturated.
And when you've seen it once.
Seen it all.
All right, number 4. Ricky's number 4 was the Punjabi prison match. My next entry is been talked about, the reverse battle royal. Fuck off this whole ordeal. Moving on, James.
My number 4 was already mentioned as well, the Lockbox Challenge. This is the one I had to remember. Okay, was this a pole match as well? But it's like, no, it wasn't. It was an 8-woman elimination tag where not only the person who got pinned was eliminated, but the person who got the key was also eliminated.
Bro.
And Victoria got her spider pack, but then lost the knockout title. And Daphne got the strip tease that Lacey Von Erich did.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Boss.
My number 4 is the Lockbox Challenge. This match set women's wrestling back at least 20 years.
Yeah. Hey, oh, God.
That stuff will get you.
I'm sorry, I'm just having an allergic reaction to your stupidity.
Did it go down the wrong hole again?
No, thankfully. I get what you mean, boss. I get what you mean. Anyway, Scott.
My number 4, again, been talked about, Chamber of Horrors. Hey, it's up. Hey, it's down. Hey, it's up. Hey, it's down.
Hard, limp. Hard, limp. Hard. In, out. Anyways, oh, man. Number 3, Ricky just put together the ripping of clothes, tuxedo, all that such. Mine, fuck it, number 3. Actually, these are my top 3, so the rest could honestly be interchangeable, but my top 3 are definite. The Gulf of Mexico match.
Oh, I forgot.
All about that one.
Yep.
Who thought it was a good idea to take CM Punk and Chavo Guerrero, who were actually having an entertaining program for the ECW title, WWE ECW title, and decide to do this with the two of them? What? So yeah, you start off in a ring, you fight out of the building to the actual Gulf of Mexico, and the only way to win is to throw your opponent into the infected waters. And
it wasn't a Long Island Sound match.
That's true.
Honestly, Gulf of Mexico is worse. Gulf of Mexico is far worse. Because freaking Chavo, good God, fucking got super sick after this. I've been in the Gulf of Mexico, and I've gotten sinus and ear infections from it. Do not go into that water at all. Just a fair warning. So yeah, this match. Why? Move on, James.
My number 3 already been talked about. The pole matches. A pole match that nobody brought up was the Feast or Fired match.
Yeah.
Where they legitimately fired that's how they legitimately fired some people.
Yep.
Christopher Daniels twice as Daniels and Curry.
Bravo.
Cavari.
Yeah.
I mean, those.
But yeah, it was their version of Money in the Bank because you had 3 where you got title shots and then 1 was the pink slip.
Yeah. And they would do the reveal deal or no deal style.
But just pole matches. WCW had the way too big poles where Kevin Nash in the bat on a pole match at Spring Stampede looked at that. He told Hogan, I'm not fucking climbing that thing. So you better tell Roddy he's climbing up that because I ain't doing it unless you want to climb that thing. Fuck that.
Pinata on the pole match, Viagra on the pole.
The Carson City Silver Dollar match between Bossman and Earthquake at Bash at the Beach, where Jimmy Hart had to climb the pole to grab the thing, because whose idea was to have this big pole with 2 300-pounders? What the fuck? The Nightstick match with Nails and Bossman?
Yeah, that was bad. Oh, Turkey on a pole? That was back in the territory days.
That was in AWA during the Team Challenge series with Jake Millman and Colonel De Beers.
That whole series was almost an honorable mention. For
Rat on a pole, where he had 4 different poles with Black Rain and Kaz.
The Rock and Mankind in a pink slip on a pole.
Yep.
Yeah. I didn't know that Turkey. I could swear that was territory. I didn't know that was AWA.
That was
AWA in the dying day.
AWA, where it looked like a territory, but yeah.
It looked less than a territory at that point.
Yep.
But so many bad pole matches. I'm shocked there has not been a pole on a pole.
Yeah.
Somebody do that next year at WrestleCon. The pole on a pole match.
Someone's going to do it now. Yep.
That's
Boss.
wet dream right there.
Boss.
My number 3 has already been mentioned, and as someone that likes both wrestling and monster trucks, this one hurts me. Monster Truck Sumo match.
Where was Truckosaurus to be the referee for this?
That episode of The Simpsons had to air by that point.
Bro, help!
Truckosaurus!
You know what they needed? You know what they needed? Straculius, the Roman god of feces.
Oh, gee.
Anyone get that? Anyone get that? Anyone get that? Huh? That guy in the back did. Good.
Like, my number 2 and 3, I legitimately had a hard time picking which one was worse. I almost put them together because, like, fuck it, they involve one particular person.
Save it for the next one, because Scott has his still.
I know. But this thing became a meme thanks to Brian Zane, and this is so stupid. And the fact is, the match afterwards, like, the guy presumably fell off into the lake or the sea or whatever.
What's the difference between that and the parking lot?
Yeah,
At that high, it don't matter.
And he doesn't even. And we don't see scratches or his hair wet.
Yeah,
No fucking consistency.
He no-sells death.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And the cherry on top, the Yeti, and then they make a Hulk Hogan sandwich.
All the Dungeon of Doom.
Will you quit stealing my shit? And
Yeti, the giant midget.
Yeah, because his arms were like a midget.
T-Rex arms.
T-Rex arms. From behind, yeah.
I love you guys so much. This is awesome.
Reese's Pieces.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, he became the super giant ninja.
And then Big Ron Stud.
Yep.
And then just Reese.
And Reese.
And then just unemployed.
Wah, wah. Where's that sound when you need it?
This entire thing, like, the whole Dungeon of Doom is, like, legendary for how awful it is. This is the pinnacle of
One of the pinnacle moments of it all.
God, yeah, like,
But anyway, Scott.
it was like,
There you go. My number 3.
oh, that
Well,
was-
I'm basically combining a whole bunch that we've all talked about. Because when we did the best of gimmicks, one of the biggest ones we all loved was the cage match. And as I alluded to earlier, 1 is great, 2 must be better. And we've seen plenty of matches where they try to add on cage. That's War Games.
Yes.
But every other time where there's additional cages involved, it pretty much is a flop. Dungeon of Doom cage match. Tower of Doom match. Punjabi prison match. Kennel from Hell match. And the one that does not get talked about. Don't give me that look. It's horrible. You know it is. You know I'm right. Always. Never wrong.
I'm not grimacing for that.
I think I know.
But there's one other match that is not talked about very much that falls in the same category. And it was from Last Championship Wrestling. Parade of Champions in 1988. The Triple Dome of Terror. If you don't know what this is, you're not alone. Because not a lot of people saw this match.
I gotta Google
the
it.
Advertisement for it. The advertisement for it's on YouTube. It looks cool. But execution, once again, fails miserably. This is a 3-cage tier. They all get smaller as they go up. Number 1, you start in the bottom and work your way up. So it's kind of a pole match. You got to climb a pole to get to the top, right? Yay. Also, at the very top cage are 3 numbers because each number coincided with a prize. First guy up gets the 1. Next guy 2. Next guy 3. All the rest of the guys, you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir. Another thing about this match.
I said good day, sir.
I said good day. Thank you. The bottom cage did not encompass the ring. It fit inside the ring. Okay.
I'm looking at a picture of it now.
So it's the Steiner Asylum.
Basically. But one last thing about this whole concept, and damn, I wish Ricky was here as a representative of the Lone Star State of Texas. Cages are square, cube, symmetrical.
Was this triangle?
But it's called the Triple Dome of Terror. You see this? This is soap. We use this to clean ourselves. What the fuck? Who came up with this idea? Was Kevin high on cocaine again when he did this? Was he shooting up Novocaine into his freaking teeth? I got an idea, Daddy. Let's call it Triple Dome of Terror. Son, it's a square. I don't care. It'll be fun. So the bottom line is, anytime pro wrestling, minus the War Games, where you have multiple cages involved, ain't gonna work. Moving on.
All right, number 2. Ricky and I had the same number 2. The pole match. Move on, James.
My number 2's Kennel from Hell. The idea of a steel cage with a Hell in a Cell around it sounds interesting.
Yes.
But then you get the
Rottweilers.
dog. And if anybody out there has ever seen the Al Snow interview where he's talked about this, where it was supposed to be trained dogs, trained specifically that they could commands, and they don't get trained dogs. And this match is a disaster.
Just pissing all over the fucking floor or humping
on the floor.
The whole story of Boss Man killing Al Snow's dog and feeding it to him, which was a Mr. Fuji rib. And then it's like, yeah, we're gonna have a cage, and we're gonna have a Hell in a Cell, and we're gonna have these trained dogs that are gonna bite the Boss Man.
Remember the promo that Al did to set this match up? He came out in the Avatar outfit.
Yeah.
Shazam! Put the mask on. I am Avatar. I'm here to save you.
Yeah. It's like, honestly...
What am I doing? I'm wearing the genie pants again.
He won the hardcore title as Leif Cassidy before he handed it to Bulldog. That was a part of this feud as well.
Yeah. I mean, just looking at... I remember this match vividly, so I might as well talk about it a little bit since it's actually mine and Ricky's number 1. Honestly, like the storyline, it was a really good angle between Boss Man and Al. Had a fucking awesome match the month prior at SummerSlam. If you was going to do an end game, with a Hell in a Cell surrounding steel cage. They honestly should have just had weapons dangle from the roof of the cell, and they can grab and just beat the shit out of each other. And the only way to win, pinfall or submission. I think, had that been this match, it wouldn't have been on the list. Not even close. But when you get untrained dogs, like, well, let's say if they had the trained dogs, do you think the match still would have been a disaster?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably still would have been.
There's two things you don't work with in TV: animals and kids.
Exactly.
If they had like, say, put one wrestler on each side of the ring with a weapon, in between the hell and the steel cage, okay, you get out of the cage, then you're going to get beat down, then you can do some angle or something with those guys.
Get some tables and
so
do some
would
cool
be
table
a
spots.
lumberjack cage match.
Yeah, exactly. I know it's
I think that
combined
would have been...
but they're already doing it. So,
I think that would have been actually pretty fun, to be honest.
the dog thing, exactly what James said. Kids and animals, you never work with them because you can't control them.
No, you can't. But anyways, boss, you're number 2.
Number 2 has already been mentioned, the Doomsday cage match from Uncensored 96.
The promo for that match was awesome, but the match was not.
Payoff is not there.
Scott?
It's just overbooked. It doesn't work for me, brother.
That was
Scott?
Kevin Sullivan trying to make Hogan comfortable.
Yeah.
Right, that's exactly what it was.
Guys, we're gonna make Hogan look really...
Oh no, we're gonna make Hogan feel good. Check out these pricks, they're wreck hard.
You gotta make
And my number 2, we already talked about it, the bungee match from GWF. Ugh.
So, okay, since
All right,
Levi
so
already
James.
talked about number 1,
Yes.
my number 1 is a combination of about dozens of different gimmick matches. The hat on a hat, where you have a steel cage match, but also a table match. It's a first blood cage match. It combine all the different combinations, and Lockdown was infamous for this, where you had arm wrestling cage matches, cuffed in a cage, escape matches, the queen of the cage, the blindfold cage, first blood cage matches in WCW. You have just so many. The hat, because the cage match is gimmick enough, but then you add another gimmick. One of the more infamous ones that people don't talk about, the Dixieland match.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Magnus versus Jeff Hardy for the vacant world title after AJ left, where you escape the cage, go to the stage, climb a ladder, grab the belt.
That's when Rockstar Spud, that was when his big major role came in.
Yeah.
Already looked like he broke his fucking hip on that.
Wow.
It's just the hat. It's a hat on a hat. Unnecessary. We've seen so many of these over the years where it's like
the Kennel from Hell falls under that.
Yep, it does.
Like another example, the match was great, but it should have been one or the other. The I Quit Hell in a Cell match between Jay and Roman, it was good, but
It was amazing, but yeah.
It should have been one or the other.
Yeah. But boss, you're number 1.
My number 1 is your number 1, Levi. The
Kennel from Hell. All right, Scott.
Why?
Oh, and before we move on, when we talked about pole matches, we forgot about the flag match.
You're right.
Because that's in there as well.
Yep, that does capture the flag and stuff like that. Yeah.
Well, hell, hat on a hat, the capture the flag scaffold match from Great American Bash.
Yeah, exactly.
The 6 Sides of Steel flag match from 06.
Yep.
Team Canada and the Dudleys.
The anthem match.
Yeah.
That's why we don't talk about it, because it was forgettable. That's why.
Yeah. Scott, you're number 1.
My number 1, and pretty much across the board for when we combine these, pretty much going to say Kennel from Hell and the duplication of gimmicks is going to be like number 1. But there is something that has been done in pro wrestling many times over, and I don't care. I looked at this. I've experienced some of these. These never work. Boxing matches.
Yes.
Yeah.
Boxing, and I'm not talking brawl for all. because that's boxing, but takedowns as well. I mean, when two wrestlers or a wrestler and an actor get in boxing attire and have a worked boxing match, it never fucking works. The most famous one, Piper T, WrestleMania 2, and it's a bad match.
One of the worst matches in WrestleMania history.
One of the worst. It's a bad match. Mr. T and Bob Orton from Saturday Night's Main Event to set that up. That was bad. I remember seeing a boxing match when I was a kid on one of those best of WWF tapes. Gorilla Monsoon against Andre the Giant from like 1977.
Oh shit.
So
hell no.
Owen Hart and Ray Rougeau had a boxing match on a house show once.
Oh, another one. Kevin Sullivan versus Mr. T. Was that Halloween Havoc in '94?
Did they do that? Really? An actual boxing match?
Yes. Mr. T.
Is that what it was?
And then
Matt Hardy and Evander Holyfield on Saturday Night's Main Event. Because MVP they found the Wolf's Parkinson's in him, so they took him out and put Evander Holyfield in.
Wow.
AJ Styles, Frank Trigg in the MMA match at No Surrender 08.
So anytime, basically, you can add that too, because it's not wrestling. Yeah. You know, you're trying to bring another sport into pro wrestling. And
the Lion's Den match worked.
Yeah.
Which one?
And the fight pit.
The Lion's Den match worked.
That's still wrestling. That's still wrestling there. That's not boxing. You know?
But that's somewhat it was kind of an MMA
like
match.
MMA stuff, yeah, but I'm talking about straight boxing matches.
Yeah.
Straight up boxing matches. They've done it several times and it never fucking works. So if you got a gimmick that you try to keep doing and it never fucking works, that to me makes it the worst gimmick of all time. Kennel from Hell, at least they're wrestling in that match. You know, in some way, shape, or form, they're trying to have a match, a wrestling match, minus the bad dogs and all that stuff. But boxing matches, worked boxing matches, stupid. There's a reason why Butterbean and Bart Gun works, because it was a shoot. So,
and another match gimmick that people tend to forget about, the Iron Circle match. Shamrock versus Black.
Oh, yeah.
Loaded 99.
It wasn't horrible, but...
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It's just, yeah...
Mm-hmm. I mean, you could say the same thing for the Hart family dungeon match with the Owen and Shamrock.
Mm-hmm. The Ray Rougeau Owen Hart boxing match is on YouTube.
Oh boy!
Or the highlights of it.
Mm-hmm.
I might check that out just to see how it is.
Oh,
I know there's been like boxer versus wrestler match, the most infamous being Inoki Ali, which was not good. It was very boring. Inoki spent the whole match on his back, and Ali wouldn't go in for it. It sold a lot of tickets, and it sold a lot of people on closed circuit because of the people involved. But the match itself, there was not a good payoff.
Was the Gorilla Monsoon boxing match you're referring to was him and Andre?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's on YouTube as well.
Oh boy.
Mm-hmm. Monsoon's the heel. It's like 77, 78, something like that.
Yep, 77.
There you go. I remember seeing that once, and it had such an effect on me how boring it was. I'm like, oh my God, this is horrible.
And what do you say about boxer versus wrestler? A big example, Big Show versus Floyd Money.
That was a wrestling match.
But that was a wrestling match, yeah, and that was awesome. It was a really good match.
Yep, but it's just when the two guys are put into that boxing realm. I wish Walter was here because he was a boxer, legit. He could talk about this for hours. But yeah, that to me, boxing matches across the board, worst gimmick of all time.
Just to distract us from all this, fucking thinking of Gorilla Monsoon, like, and I met Ted Turner once, and he goes, "Oh, hey, you're that big feller that does all the wrestling up in New York. How'd you like to come down to Atlanta and wrestle Ric Flair?" And I said, "Sir, if I wanted to watch a guy flop around after a night of drinking, I'll go to Arnold Skolin's hotel room. Give me a break."
Who said that?
It was that AI Gorilla Monsoon thing.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
Brilliant.
Speaking of the AI Gorilla Monsoon, they just released one today. Table for 3, him, Dave Meltzer, and CM Punk.
It was good.
Oh, find the link and put it in here, please.
Oh, I'm going to right now.
I need to hear that when we're done.
We'll play it after the show.
Yes.
But yeah, those were our list.
Top 5 is like Kennel from Hell or multi-gimmick matches, boxing matches, monster truck,
pole match,
Chamber of Horrors, reverse battle royal, all that stuff was
pretty much all that. Yeah.
So pole matches.
Yeah.
Was it what? Was a what?
What?
Use a hoe.
What's a wahor?
Use a
Is that
hoe.
like a Klingon?
You mean the thing you use in the garden?
Another name for gardening tool and a moral pleasure seeker. What's a hoe? Whoa!
Whoa! Whoa!
Does anyone see my
Whoa, man.
Whoa.
Anyway, this week in wrestling.
So, well, for me, tomorrow night, house show in Cincinnati at the Heritage Bank Center. One of only 2 house shows Roman's working this summer. Working tomorrow night and working a show in July in Mexico. So, yeah, I am one of the lucky ones that's going to get to see Roman do a rare house show match.
Cool,
His
yeah,
first
good luck.
title defense since WrestleMania against Rey Mysterio in the main event tomorrow night. So,
Nice.
that's happening. But for everything else that
would
went
hope-
on,
I would hope if it's a house show, there's cameras there to capture some of
they
the-
might. Since
It makes
Roman's
total
there.
sense to do that. Yeah.
If only I had a closer seat, I would do the thing that a fan did a couple years ago. I'd be like, "Hey Roman, I loved you in Fast X."
Yes.
And then he'd do the same thing
I
he
like
said
it.
about Aquaman. He's like, "Yeah, it would have made more money if I was in it too,"
Right.
because that is such a legendary crowd
They'll
moment.
probably post it on like Raw or SmackDown that Roman, beat Rey Mysterio and stuff.
Yeah.
They'll probably do that.
Probably.
Ray
But
gets
anyway.
close to winning, but Dominic interferes. Because they are doing a match on Father's Day between Ray and Dominic on a house show.
Oh, cool.
Speaking of Dominic, him and Cody are having a match at Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
Which should
they
be
are.
really good.
That's interesting.
I like that.
I did
That's
not
interesting.
expect that to happen.
Cody against the biggest heel in the company?
Yeah. Top babyface against biggest heel. Yeah.
Yep.
Money in the Bank is
Actually looking pretty good.
Though
yeah,
Seth and
there's a
Finn.
lot of criticism, though, from people about the lack of stars in the Money in the Bank match. Although, when you look at it, it's all new people. I thought that's what
Mostly.
people
Guys.
wanted. It's all new. It's all people who have not only never been in the match before, or have been in maybe one or so,
Nakamura,
but have never
yeah.
been world
Nakamura's
champion.
one, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And
it's all
funny,
NXT
too,
guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny too. All the people that complain about, they keep featuring all the old guys we need up and comers are the same people that complain.
And yet
about,
here we are, and people are still going to bitch about it.
They're gonna bitch no matter what. They're gonna find an
Exactly.
excuse to bitch.
Also, a kind of a elephant to address. Stop with the lazy title designs.
The belts are fine. They are fine.
I'm not-
People are overreacting about
I'm not-
everything.
I don't hate them.
Overreaction.
I'm not hating them. It's just that it's literally the same thing. Like if
Who cares?
This is actually going to be one instance I will agree with Boss on. Too lazy, people. Come on, whatever
Well,
happened
it's
to
basically that
creativity?
they're segmenting them now to where the lineage of the WWE Championship carries on with Roman. The Universal title is pretty much going to go away after whenever he decides to lose.
Yeah,
And then you're going to have the WWE Undisputed Women's Championship with Asuka, and now on Raw you're going to have the World Champion with Seth and the World's Women's Champion with Rhea. So they're completely separating those two brands to have their own specific championships again,
Which is
No.
fine.
which
Which
is
is
fine.
perfect. So that way we don't need belt swaps.
yeah, because we don't want another Becky Charlotte moment on our hands.
SmackDown is currently going right now. They're still setting up Money in the Bank, which that's in a couple of weeks, isn't it?
Yeah,
Two
it's-
weeks from tomorrow.
July 1st.
That show looks.
It looks good. So far for the women's Money in the Bank, we got Zelina, Becky, Zoe, Io, one to be determined, and then Bailey or Shotzi. And then we got pretty much all the men set up: Ricochet, Nakamura, LA Knight, Santos Escobar, Butch and Damian Priest, Cody Dominic, and Seth versus Balor. I kind of figured that was going to be the case.
And we get to see the show in the afternoon here.
Yay.
How cool is that?
Yeah, that's going to be
3
a
o'clock.
good
2:30 is
afternoon.
a 3 o'clock start.
Yep.
Mhm.
Well, speaking of shows,
And then also, wait a minute. on Tuesday, we're going to be seeing Seth Rollins defend against Braun Breaker.
Yes.
I was gonna get there, which
That's going to be
a hell of a match. Granted, we're going to get a screwy finish because you're not going to have Rollins lose clean, nor you're going to have Braun Breaker lose clean.
But it's one of those, wouldn't it be fucking something if they just said, fuck it, we're going to pull the trigger and put the belt on Braun Breaker? It's just
that would
a
be
shocker.
something. That would be something. But
that's how you debut the kid on the main roster.
Now, that does bring up something I've been kind of battling in my head over the past couple days with Rollins' run. So far, yeah, it's only been a few weeks. But part of me feels like they're really forcing the whole thing of like what Rollins saying about Roman on TV, that we need a world champion that will defend all the time. I feel like they're going about it the wrong way, if that makes sense. Like now him defending the belt every week on television, it's like, they're
going the Bret Hart 92 route, where he was defending it pretty much every week.
If they're calling it the Workhorse Championship, the world title for the workhorse wrestler. So they have to demonstrate that somehow. Yes, we know that was always the Intercontinental title, but if they're going to have a long run with Gunther and it's going to continue, how long till, or has he broken Honky's record yet?
No, it's going to be 2.5 months.
September SmackDown 7th. After Payback, because that was announced. Payback in early September.
September 2nd.
So it's the SmackDown after Payback is when Gunther breaks the record.
So he's gonna have that. So if he's gonna have the long title reign, I don't know what Seth's schedule is like. I mean, we know he was doing, he's doing New World Order,
Brave New World now, but
Brave New World. I didn't know that.
They changed the title, and he's officially confirmed to be the character Cobra. A mercenary of the Serpent Society.
You've got the television!
Sorry, wrong Cobra.
Pickles, fuck off!
Yes.
Oh,
anyway, yeah. Anyway, kid.
But,
circumcision. Okay. Sorry.
Speaking of pay-per-views, we're going to be having one in about a week. Forbidden Door 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Forbidden Door 2, this time it's personal.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to be fair, on paper, this does look pretty good.
It always does. Yeah. It always looks good on paper.
Execution.
Ospreay Omega for the US title. They had a really good match at Wrestle Kingdom, I thought.
I'm more interested in. That's the one I would.
Bryan and Okada.
I would buy for that match.
You know the match I'm interested in the most? MJF and Tanahashi.
Yes.
That's good
for the AEW title.
Yeah, but you know who's going to win. So.
But it's going to be interesting. Granted, they're fucking giving Jungle Boy the IWGP title shot against Sonata.
That's what I was getting ready. That sounds a bit underwhelming, but obviously Jungle Boy is going to be turning heel. Obviously,
it's time. It's time.
Oh yeah, kid, cut your fucking hair. Start using your real name. Change it up, please.
He called Hook his best friend, so you know who's turning heel. Because anytime anybody says you're my best friend,
it's kayfabe for heel turns coming.
And on top of that, actually, speaking of Hook, there have been reports that apparently Triple H and Shawn Michaels are interested in getting Hook once his AEW contract is done.
Good. I mean, that kid needs a little a little more training.
Proper training.
Learn in the performance center.
Yes.
Yep.
Speaking of AEW, Collision is happening tomorrow, and oh my god,
boy,
the backlash that Punk got, that Washington crowd, were not giving Punk his just due. If you saw that live reaction when Punk was cutting that little hype promo for his return, oh my god, the heat. That entire crowd was pouring boos.
Not happy.
The ratings this week, like the main event did under 700,000 viewers.
It's make or break with Punk. This is his last chance, I feel like.
And Punk had his ESPN interview come out today.
Yeah, and I haven't heard it. I've heard it's like he has a lot to say. I'm like, I don't care.
Basically, all he said was everything we already know, and he's tried to make amends, but lawyers are saying you can't talk to them.
And legally, he can't say it, so it's like,
and
the fucking interview.
And he's already said that, like him versus the Elite would make money, but they're not going to be doing it. To which I say, I don't care about Punk then. Unless they're going to do him in the Elite, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Punk isn't the big deal anymore.
What is there to care about with Punk? Unless he's facing the Elite. That's the money. No matter what your feelings are on any of the Elite or Punk or whatever, that's the money feud.
There's one person that needs to step up and do something. Tony Khan. Quit trying to make friends.
Be a boss.
Actually be a boss. Yes.
Put your foot down.
We sound like a broken record while we're saying it because that's exactly what we are. Quit trying to make friends. You can make friends, but you can also do a lot more important things like make money, sell tickets.
Make friends or make money. That's what it's always been about.
Drop the whole lawyer stuff.
But problem is nowadays, boys are under guaranteed contracts. They already make their money. So that's why you're not going to see that.
Right.
So that's why it's a whole different
business. Back in the day, the boys didn't sue the boys.
Right.
The boys were united against the promoter. Now, the promoter is dividing the boys.
He's throwing money and nobody cares. So that's where Tony, Kenny, Punk say fuck you, fuck you. Say fuck you back, fuck you. All right, you done? Can we have a fucking match now? That's how you do this.
Okay, here's
Wrestle
a weapon.
Park.
Here's a weapon. Now fight each other.
That Wrestle Park thing you sent on Twitter, James, that's honestly how it should have gone down, but yeah.
This whole thing, the fact that they're going to be doing a soft brand split because we got to have lawyers involved, and I would not be shocked if the Elite leave AEW when their contracts are up.
I know Walt was speculating that too.
Yeah, I saw that tweet. It's like, are the four of them going to be gone? Could be. Would not be shocked.
Where are they going to go? They're not going to work for Paul. I'm sorry, they're not.
Kenny will. Kenny would.
But the Bucks, no.
Kenny's broken down. Kenny's body's all broken down.
One final paycheck. One final paycheck.
He's lost, but his stock has gone down so much because of this whole scenario. It's like he's not the money grabber they once was. So that's why I'm just saying, me personally, I just don't see it happening.
Was Omega really a draw though?
No.
Not in this country.
He's not. His style is not going to go over here in the States.
It's mainly Japan.
Basically. It's Japanese. Not all Japanese style wrestlers get over in America, people.
Nope.
Sad but true.
Nope.
Or like a Stan Hansen.
For Kenny specifically, he wants his match with AJ at WrestleMania. That's it. You could do a one-off.
For a one-off, that would make sense.
Or a two-off, him and Rollins.
And Kenny can fucking go out there with AJ, have a fucking match, blow the roof off the building, be done with it. AJ goes over, thank you, and good night and goodbye. Bang, and leave.
And that'd be the end of... Because, Kenny is about one more major injury away from being done.
Yeah.
The Bucks aren't going to work in WWE, and Hangman could use some learning in the PC for maturity reasons.
He's not going to do it because he doesn't listen to veterans.
Did you all see the clip of the match with him and Punk from last year, Double or Nothing, where he chopped his face?
Yeah.
It's like...
It's become a big thing over Twitter. A huge thing over Twitter.
Yeah. There's a reason why I never liked that kid. So...
Like, he's my age, and he's a fucking punk.
Yeah. Send him to Impact or fucking GCW or something like that. They can have fun with him. Ridiculous.
Let's see, what else?
Just needs a kiss and make up. Shit, don't know.
Back in the
Easier said than done.
Edge and Matt Hardy worked together after that whole thing that they dealt with.
Jeff Jarrett, Kurt Angle worked together after that whole ordeal.
Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels.
They eventually
And all three of those were far worse than this whole ordeal with Punk and Neely. Far worse. But yet, this little thing, yet none of these guys can get along because I'm going to say Punk is a fucking child.
Worked together after their stuff.
Ric Flair, Shane Douglas. Do I need to say more? No, I don't. Yep. Bottom line is, fucking Punk, Omega, and the Bucks, and all of them.
Drop the lawyers.
Yeah,
grow up.
Tony needs to be like, okay, drop the lawyers. We're gonna do business because now they're actively ruining their own television.
Nobody cares
not
about the
doing
problem.
this.
All they care about is what is said behind the scenes.
And isn't it kind of?
Do they think it's gonna just go away? You're going to hear CM Punk chants during Elite matches. You're going to hear Hangman chants and Elite chants during Punk matches.
Cowboy shit.
Yeah.
So it's not going to go away. It's going to get to a point where you're going to hear that, they're going to hear it, and it's like, we got no choice now but to do this, because this is what the fans want.
Gotta give the people what they want. Also, another thing, too, with Collision, I will not be shocked if the company does not give a fuck about it in a month.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
and on top of that,
this first show is going to be, like, I'm going to see the first show just to see it, see what happens, but after that, why care?
Right. And on top of that,
Joe,
Juice Robertson, and Jay White.
Okay. Yeah, that's what it was. But, and isn't it kind of funny how in this whole ordeal, Jericho is the most mature one out of the bunch, and he didn't even do anything. Punk just decided to badmouth him for no reason. So it's like...
Well, Jericho was saying some shit, too.
Well, I think Jericho's right, all things considered. Punk is a fucking
that's true.
punk.
But here's the thing, everybody in this situation's wrong.
Yeah.
They're all wrong.
None of it was
if it was up to me, everyone would have been fired.
Yeah. And I'm honestly shocked that Punk didn't decide to just go, fuck this, because of that whole week where he was going to backstage Chicago for Raw, talking with Miz and Paul before he was told to leave. I'm shocked that Paul hasn't decided to buy out Punk's contract and be like, okay, we'll make amends, we'll sort some stuff out and come in for like maybe a year and then you can retire in Hall of Fame.
Punk did say he apologized to Tony and that him and Tony are cool now.
For how long, though?
That was the first thing he did when he talked to him again. He apologized, saying, like, you know, shit was bad. I admit it. I fucked up.
Well, you could give Tony a fucking candy bar and he'll accept your apology in a heartbeat.
Pretty much. Ooh, a piece of candy. Oh, a piece of candy. Ooh, a piece of candy.
Ooh, forbidden door.
Ooh, Wembley.
But it's like you're not going to be doing that match for Wembley, which is sad because that's the match everyone wants for Wembley.
That ain't gonna happen.
And this whole thing, it's like, how are you going to keep them separated on pay-per-view days?
You gotta keep them separated.
Oh dear Lord.
How's that going to work?
Separate locker rooms, kayfabe locker rooms. Security posted outside. Goldberg will be there.
Oh God! And then one last thing.
Room, Dynamite in the other locker room.
And then one last thing. To those who are saying that we're going to get a Goldberg Ryback match, I don't care.
It's not going to happen.
It ain't happening, and if it does, I'm not going to give a shit.
People are going to say, oh, it's
that's all.
It's a trash can versus garbage. Okay, at least Goldberg drew.
Exactly.
What was Ryback done? What was Ryback done? Oh yeah, undefeated streak. Okay, so did Crimson and so did Jade Cargill. They haven't drawn. What the fuck? What difference?
Jade Cargill's better than Ryback.
True that.
Yeah.
I shit out a piece of paper and it's still better than Ryback.
How do you do that? That's a hell of a trick. Number one, you got too much fiber in your diet if that's what's happening, okay? I'm very worried about that.
If you're shitting out paper, then maybe you need to stop eating paper. It's not good for you.
If you shit paper, I'm not playing rock, paper, scissors with you.
Nice.
Not happening.
I have a very specific set of skills.
I've shit rocks, but I'm not shitting scissors, okay? I'm not doing
Oh
that.
God, no.
Maybe bring in Arn and Sid into this.
Oh God, no.
Well, I was thinking this thing, but my God, man.
You just took it and went
way further than it needed to.
Yeah. I think Boss needs a nap. The child needs a nap now.
He needs his bottle, he needs his binky and his blankie.
No more Coke for you.
That's
and
right.
no more soda either.
It's not my dad, Mom. Come on.
Not my dad, Mom? What's that?
I don't know.
Are you from the South?
Yeah.
Oh, dear Lord.
My cousin wife?
Your sister cousin?
Sister cousin wife?
Yeah. Anyway, so time to wrap it up in a nice bow. Alright, so anyways, thank you guys who tuned in tonight for 151 of the Shadow Kvlt. We will be back to our normal time slot next Saturday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, where we will be talking King of the Ring 1998. As far as...
now, I'm slated not to be here. And that's the wah. I won't be here this next week. Not planning on it. So who knows? I might sneak in for a run-in. You never know. But do not plan to see my old face here.
So we'll probably have a 4-man or possibly even a 3-man crew next week. So, but that's that. Now, as far as like ideas we got brewing starting for July, we still got to discuss that. August is definitely SummerSlam centric. SummerSlam, no doubt.
I know July. I know with July we're doing wrestling trivia for game night.
Yep.
And I got to start creating the questions.
Yeah, on the 1st. Yep.
Who won the first ever steel cage match with what maneuver?
Oh, dear Lord. You're going to really be brutalizing us, aren't you?
What was the second ever match at the first WrestleMania?
King Kong Bundy against SD Jones. 9 seconds.
But yeah, people, they get the idea. So that will be in 2 weeks. But then after that, we still got to figure out what we're going to do and every bit of that. But that will be coming in a couple of weeks.
Top 10 asses in wrestling.
Number 1, Velvet Sky. Number 2, Velvet Sky. Oh yeah, number 3, Velvet Sky.
Naomi.
Bailey.
Gigi
Nikita.
Her mother.
But yeah. But anyways, it is a plug time, starting with the boss.
You can subscribe to me to my YouTube channel about Soul Basics, where I haven't been really doing Raw, SmackDown, or Dynamite because, you know, work and all that stuff, so hopefully...
The kid's grown up, he's got a job!
Welcome to adulthood.
He's doing the job.
We must make you look very strong. I'm gonna try and do a little series where I'm gonna recapture all the events that happened in the week of wrestling. And on the other side, I am doing metal reviews and retrospectives. I didn't review any new album, but I really want to do the new Creeping Death album, but I haven't had the time to. And I'm gonna be busy this whole week for Father's Day. But I haven't started my Bolter retrospective, but I'll probably do that maybe by next week. So.
James.
Subscribe to my YouTube at We Are Pro Wrestling. Follow me on Twitter at WAPW_wrestling. And follow me on Instagram at We Are Pro Wrestling_YT.
Where you can catch his latest From the Vault about Ric Flair's second run in WCW from 93 to 01. Yeah, needless to say, James, you were right. Towards the end, it was so bad.
And was it even worth it, him going back?
Yeah.
After 94, no.
No.
Scott?
Find me on my YouTube channel. It's Mr. Scott doing reactions on there. My latest reaction has been getting a ton of attention. I really appreciate everyone checking it out. The sub numbers have been going up. I'm on my way to 4,000, just like Levi is. So hoping we both get there by the end of the year. Who knows if it's going to happen. Be nice if it does. Also find me on Twitch. Been jamming out on Twitch. Actually, at the time of this recording, I am under 2 weeks to my Twitch anniversary. 2 years, I believe I've been an affiliate on Twitch, so I'm having fun on there, playing music and doing stuff on there.
I've been there since day one.
That's right, he has. Yes.
I think I was maybe the first subscriber.
I think you were. I think you were the first sub. So yeah, so just check your sub number and see what it is, and you can figure that out.
0000001.
One exactly. So, and so you've also found me on Twitch, on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok under It's Mr. Scott, doing stuff there. Because it's Friday night here, usually I'm live on my YouTube channel Friday nights. We did this. I'll probably be live tomorrow night for a little hangout there. Maybe the wife and Magic will be stopping in too. And the wife's got a gift for me too that I'm supposed to open on stream. So stop it and check out what it is. I have no idea. So.
And just a quick Sky imitation from Twitch. What the hell?
What the hell?
From the first hype train you ever had.
My first
about 2 years ago. Yeah.
Yep.
But anyways, August? Maybe August.
I thought it was September. I could swear it was September.
I got that clip saved. I could just go back.
Yeah.
But anyways, subscribe to me if you haven't already. ThrashManiac99, still under 300 subs away from the 4,000, where if you sub and you go to the channel page to click on the video and the channel trailer, leave a comment, and you get these bad boys. 8 CDs featuring Asphyx, Behemoth, Carcass, Darkthrone, Metallica, and Vader. So, you can get
and
some
he'll
goodies.
sign every single one of them.
In my blood.
I thought it was just Carcass. I didn't know Behemoth was in there.
Well, Behemoth just got added. It was originally 6, now it's 8. Now it's 8. But anyway, so as far as what's coming up, I'm actually, after doing this, I got one final song to listen to from an album I'm going to review. I'm going to do Creeping Death, which, spoiler alert, that fucking album's pummeling if you like old school death metal with a bit of a hardcore vibe. Also, Corpse Grinder does guest vocals on a track, and it's brutal. Also doing a review of the new Saturnus album, which is melodic death doom. It's super sad, but there's some classic metal lenient stuff on there. So those reviews will be coming out tomorrow and Sunday. No Under the Radar this week because apart from those two, there wasn't really much. So I'll probably do another collection update. And I actually have a thread video idea in mind that I'm hoping Scott will do a response to, maybe Boss. 10 metal vocalists that can sing you to sleep and scare you to death.
I already know one that comes to mind.
So, hoping those two will do a response to it once I post it next, probably Tuesday. I'm probably going to post that video. But anyways, that's all on the YouTube side. Well, actually, later in the month, I'll do my Iron Maiden ranking. I still need to get to listening to some of the albums I haven't listened to all the way through. But that's all on YouTube. You can follow me on Instagram at ThrashManiac_YT. I'm about 20 followers away from 1,500. And then finally, follow and or subscribe to me on Twitch at ThrashManiac99. I'm actually less than 60 followers away from 500 on Twitch. And maybe if you sub, you'll get a special surprise. I'm not going to tell you what it is. You'll just have to find out yourself. Shh. Or shoosh!
Huge, please.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Special gift will be Nikita Claus Russian sickle.
Damn it, boss! You spoiled it. Anyways, so
c'est ma lesson sickle magnum TA.
All right, but until next Saturday night. Keep your horns high and your dreams wet. You bunch of fucking jackasses. Why do you watch a bunch of misfits like us? Yeah, the Russian sickle. Tits and ass, fucking buttercream carrot cake, whatever.
Nikita Lyons and Lola Vice.